Hey guys, this is Project Potato Podcast. This is episode 8 in Project TDM.
And I'm PotatoNetwork, and please welcome us today, Tortzilla.
Hello, I'm Tortzilla.
So like always with the podcast, we're going to kick off with our track/EP/album of the month. So if you guys don't know, this is something we've discovered within this month, and we want to share it with you guys. So for me, this is Nero and their second album, Between Two Worlds.
And for me, it has to be Firework by Hollywood Principle. And it's actually from the Rocket League Supersonic DLC pack that I bought a while ago, and it's super neat, so you should check it out.
Well, I discovered a track 4 days ago. It was released 4 days ago by Alan Moore and Fluid. It's called Voicerana or something. And yeah, it's a newer track and I really liked
it. So like always, we're going to have our main bit of the podcast, which is generally just an interview with the guest. And so, Tortzilla, who are you and where can we find you?
Well, I'm a EDM producer. Been producing for 2 years. I'm just the guy that does music in his spare time. I'm just a regular teenager that does this. And, well, if you want to find me, I have a SoundCloud / Tortzilla Music, and Twitter, that is like Tortzilla.
Okay, so how do you come up with your artist name? I'm pretty sure it's an interesting story. Or
yeah, okay, so my real name is Tor. T-O-R, as you might have guessed. And, well, I had this discussion when I was in 7th grade with my 2 friends. But I was like making a Steam account, and I was like, you can't use your real name, you need a gamer alias. I was like, maybe like Tortilla. No. And then they said, what about Torpedo? And I was like, no. That was really strange. So I ended up being Tortilla. So I used a tortilla chips as my logo on Steam for, I don't know, a few years. Then I started doing this music stuff, and I put a Z in my name just to make the Google searches better. Yeah. So.
So what sort of equipment do you use when you're making your sort of music?
My computer, of course. I have a pair of KRKs, Rocket 6, yes. And also have a blue Yeti, actually. And I just use that.
and what DAW do you use? Did you already say? Or
kind of complicated, but I use FL Studio, Logic, Pro Tools, and Ableton sometimes.
well, that's quite a wide range of DAWs. How do you cope with it? Does it work?
So I use kind of FL Studio is my main DAW, but Pro Tools I actually work at a studio, kind of like of not paid, just to like do something I like. So I work at a studio, like semi-pro studio that does recording of bands, and we use Pro Tools there. So I had to learn like how to use it.
And what's your workflow like?
My workflow. When I start a track, I just do drums first, and then I just write something. I don't really think about it. Start with a bass or a chord progression usually.
Alright, so do you have any future projects coming up that you could talk about?
That I can talk about. I may or may not have a release on a label this year, and it will probably be a single, but it depends if the guy wants to do it. So that's the only thing I have really. I have maybe an EP coming up, depending on if I'm lazy or not.
So, do you have any tips for new producers who are just starting out and having no clue what to do?
I really recommend, like I watched YouTube videos when I started, and they're all not as good. You have some good video makers like Seamless and Rableton. What is his name? Sadowick or something.
Yeah, Sadowick
Yeah.
Productions or something. Yeah.
And there's like a Pro Tools guy. No, a Logic guy. And I don't know what his name is, but like there's like 3 people that make really good videos, and there's a lot of crap videos.
Yeah.
So I really just recommend experimenting, reading online on forums and stuff, and just taking your time doing stuff. And if you don't know how to do it, a thing you want to do, I just would recommend searching it up on YouTube, even though the video might be a bit bad, but you can like be critical and use different sources and find something that might give the result you want.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna quickly shoehorn this in, but I just released a game last night, and I was the majority of the time was actually spent finding music for it, and it's really hard to find music. I used basically Reddit and just searched throughout multiple subreddits, but a lot of the websites weren't that good, or just didn't seem that good to me. I did find someone's music, and they seemed really good. So, I guess one thing you could do as a new producer, sort of try, like, if you're finding it hard to make a track on your own, you could find someone who needs a track, or that sort of thing, and use them, like, they'll give you an idea of what they need, and then you could just work off of that. So that's also a good idea. Well, maybe a good idea to use when you're trying to start out. Don't know if that sounds good for you, like a good idea to you guys, since you actually make music. But I mean, when I was trying to find more artists, it was a lot harder. So it builds up a portfolio for you the people who make music, and it's something to do really. So maybe that's a good idea for people to do. They're starting out as well.
Yeah.
To make game music.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of artists that are kind of good, that have not been working for a lot of time. They like just put out their music and not think about it. But like there's so many things you can do with your music. You could have it in a little production, like a film or a game. Yeah.
So I suppose in that sense it gives it a purpose of why you're making that sort of music. So that could because like even with making games, I find that I sort of need a purpose to continue making that game and push it out. So I suppose that might be the same with some people when it comes to making music. So yeah, find a purpose.
Yeah, thanks for watching or listening. And well, here's some of my unreleased, or not unreleased, but like yeah, maybe an unreleased track and a release track. And thanks for watching. Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Yeah, thanks you guys for listening, and see you next month.
Bye.
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 Yeah. Yeah.